Blessings to you, people of God. Thank you so much for sharing with me this morning. It's a wonderful day, and I'm so glad that the Lord allowed us to see it and to include us in it and to allow us to live out our purpose today. I'm talking about the end times, and I was preparing to do this video. I actually did the video last night, but I was under strong spiritual attack, and I never did upload the video. And so I just decided to go ahead and do it again. Now in Daniel 3, it talks about how Nebuchadnezzar had set up an image of himself to be worshipped. He commanded that everyone worship the image. Well, we do know that the three Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, would not worship the image. And so they were thrown into the burning fiery furnace. The Son of God was in there with them. And they were thrown in. The fire was turned up 7 times hotter, and it did not burn them up. And they pulled them out of there without harm, without hurt. And Nebuchadnezzar began to worship the Lord. In the last days, the Antichrist is going to set up an image of himself in the temple in Israel to be worshipped. Matthew 24:15 says, "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand." Mark 9:14 says, "Standing where it ought not." He is going to place an image of himself to be worshipped. He's going to run everybody out of the temple. He's going to abolish worship in the temple, and he's going to stop all the sacrifices, everything that's going on, because he's going to set his image up. He wants it to be about him. He wants to be crowned king, is what I call it, because that made me think about the game of checkers. When you're playing checkers and you are winning and you make it to your opponent's side, of the far end, then you say, "Crown me." The enemy is attempting to overthrow the church. He wants to destroy the church. He is doing all he can to dominate. And on the checkerboard, when you are crowned king, you basically dominate the board. So he is trying to dominate. But we know that Jesus told Peter, "Upon this rock I shall build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." And prevail means to prove more powerful than opposing forces. The gates of hell shall not have victory over the church. So even though it's going to look like he has the upper hand, it's going to look like he is king and he is being worshiped, people are going to worship him. But don't you worship the image. Amen. Don't worship the image. I talked about on my last video how there will be a famine of hearing the word of the Lord. And I just wanted to make clear that there will not be a complete stop to preaching. There will not be a complete stop to hearing the words of the Lord, but it will be scarce. It talks about in 1 Samuel, how 1 Samuel 3, that the word of the Lord was precious in those days, or rare or scarce. The words of the Lord will be rare in those days. Amen. I say to you today, don't worship the image. If you people are wondering if we're in tribulation times now, but I say to you, when you see the abomination of desolation standing in the temple in Israel, you will know without a shadow of a doubt that you are in the tribulation period. Amen. And I just want to encourage you, don't worship the image. No matter what, don't worship the image.